guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be talking about something I found super interesting as I was researching Colleen Ballinger amidst her current allegations. We're going to be talking about what some say is Colleen's exploitation of her own children through her vlogging channel, as well as other children of YouTube family vloggers who have since grown up and spoken up about the effect of what being a part of these vlogs did to them throughout their lives. Now, if you aren't aware, YouTube has many genres of content, and family vlog channels are channels that revolve around the livelihoods of an entire family that the vlogger or vloggers are usually a part of. More often than not, the people who start these channels are the parents. These videos tend to do incredibly well on YouTube, gaining millions of views and staying family friendly, which leads to a lot of monetization. Now, the range of that audience varies from children themselves, prospective parents, people living vicariously through them, or the worst of all, P-words looking for free and accessible content of kids. YouTube themselves has had a rocky history with child-appropriate content and eventually could not ignore the growing number of P-words timestamping moments where children were in bathing suits or in compromising positions. This eventually led to YouTube Kids app being created, comments being disabled from videos that are age restricted for children, and those same videos not being able to be added into playlists. These children often became the breadwinners for their family from the first day that they were born until the moments that they moved out of their home, with their privacy often violated a lot for clicks and views. I mean, imagine not being able to go to prom, a date, or even get grounded without it being filmed for hundreds of thousands of people to see. As the internet has grown, a lot of people have been made aware of this dark side, and nowadays you often find celebrities actually hiding their children's faces to protect them from this. In Hollywood, child actors are protected by the California Child Actors Bill, also known as the Coogan Law, meaning a child protection law requiring that a percentage of a child actor's earnings are placed into a trust that they'll be able to access once they are 18. Unfortunately, in 2018, it was decided by California lawmakers that digital stars like YouTubers do not qualify for protection under the Coogan Law. The legislator determined that the roles played by social media kids are much less substantial than those on a Hollywood set, and so the pressures could not compare and they weren't entitled to a financial compensation or protection. According to an Adam Mcintyre video titled "Colleen Ballinger is not protecting her kids," released pre-toxic gossip train, Colleen had this to say about these changes that YouTube had made.
Just like, by the way, Colleen is someone who has made many videos on YouTube before talking about the fact that she knows that there's P-words watching family channel content. And she actually made a video attacking YouTube for disabling the comments on family channel videos because YouTube were trying to suppress family channel content because they really didn't want, just footage of children online. Colleen made a video and was one of the pioneers that made them reverse that change by basically saying like our content shouldn't be suppressed, we shouldn't be getting in trouble for the fact there's P-words out there.
In an article by Will Bright released in late 2022, he writes about the horrors of child exploitation on YouTube. Among other popular family vloggers, the Stauffers, the Labrant family, and the Prince family, who have so many of their own controversies that we could get into if you guys wanted to, was none other than Colleen. In this article, Will states that Colleen Ballinger exploits her 3 young children, Flynn, Wes, and Maisie, and says that since having her children, many of her main videos have been about her kids and revolving around their personal lives. In this video, Adam gives a great explanation on what the quote mommy vlogger route is, using Colleen as an example, and says,
which is, you basically talk about how once you have your baby, you're going to respect their privacy and blah 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 blah, and then once the baby's born, you post that initial video, you realize that you can get a new peak on YouTube, you're getting so much money, you're getting so many views, so your entire brand becomes your children, and your children are your sole income, you're exploiting every single moment of them online, allowing random strangers to have parasocial relationships with your children who do not know that they exist.
A lot, and I mean a lot, of YouTubers across all of YouTube have opinions on family vlogging, and most of them lean on the idea that family vlogs should not exist. However, they still have an audience, so clearly some people do feel like they should exist and love that they do. In this video, Adam pulls up a video that Colleen posted where she gives a short story time and lets people know why she has moved to her new place. In this video, Colleen states that she moved to her new house as a result of her feeling, quote, unsafe in her last house. She says that this is one of the worst feelings that she's ever had in her life. She explains that when people know you or you are a social media person, people are obsessed with finding out your address for some reason. She says that she didn't want to speak about it at her old address in fear that it would make people want to also come to her house more. However, in the same video, Colleen talks about how she will do a house tour soon and show off her backyard. Now, it doesn't take GeoTracker to show you how easy it is for people to find you based on details on your surroundings. Like, people can legit see a roof behind you and use that to work out where you live. And also, isn't it funny how she can easily recognize a violation of her own privacy, but fails to understand how her content is also a violation of her kids' privacy? She then talks about how people would glare into her windows screaming, "Miranda, Miranda, come out," and sometimes go through her mail. Mind you, these things happened at places before she even had kids. Now she's showing off where the kids' bedrooms are, their daily schedules, their garden and front door area, and more. She said she used to have panic attacks and put forth gates and alarms and cameras and had paranoia as a result. With all of this being said, isn't it interesting how she's allowing her kids to go through all this? She talks about how this happens when you're a person who is well known but has made her underage children miniature celebrities by vlogging them on her channel with over 3 million followers and showing off every aspect of their lives for them to watch. Some fans even accuse her of using her kids to avoid criticism. One Reddit user said this: "Is this an attempt to save face? Exploit her toddlers even more to get more sympathy? She's so manipulative and insufferable. Once again, she's being called out for her problematic behavior, and once again, here come the waterworks." Another user comments, "It's honestly so wrong that she does that. The manipulation and sympathy fishing is off the charts and is fucking pathetic. She needs help and she needs to get herself and her kids off the internet. She needs to stop exploiting her children, period. The good news is people are waking up to how problematic she is." Can you guys believe this comment was made 3 months ago? Like, if they knew what we know now? Now, Colleen's children are still children, and so most of the opinions formed about her vlogging her kids are from adults on the internet, but some family vloggers whose children have since grown up have come out to speak about their experiences. One of these children was given a platform by Colleen In, a TikToker better known for her comedy skits. In a long video released in 2022, Colleen came forward sharing an anonymous letter from a teen from a family vlog channel, and it reads,
"To any parents that are considering starting a family vlog or monetizing your children's lives on the public internet, here is my advice. You shouldn't do it. Any money you get will be greatly overshadowed by years of suffering and very hard work for you and your child to keep up with trends and media, and if you do manage to do it, your child will never be normal. You will be their boss and they will be your employee, which is a horrible relationship to have with your kid."
In the rest of the letter, the person details how it was hard for them to not get noticed in public and they're constantly harassed by brands and networks online. But the worst part of it is that they are constantly being sent inappropriate messages and videos from strangers. They talk about how people comment weird things on their social media and how they never consented to being online. They were only 2 to 3 years old when they went viral. They talk about how they simply cannot go back as their parents posted information on the internet that no one should know about them, but they had no choice in the matter. They said that although they weren't physically hit, they have had trauma in their childhood for being an employee since the age of 5. They reiterate that parents should not do this, and if they don't regret it, their children will. They try to advise everyone not to do this and advises those who are already being exploited to avoid comments and never look their names on websites. They finish off their letter saying,
"To my parents, if they so happen to be out there and recognize me, I'm not sorry. I think I have the right to complain on the internet after you took my childhood away from me. Love, your lovely child."
Some family vlogging channels have even gone to the direction of removing their children from their channels entirely, like the Hapa family. The Hapa family are a family that uses Montessori education that, according to the American Montessori Society, is a specific philosophy that fosters rigorous, self-motivated growth for children and adolescents in areas of their development. Their kids are a huge part of their content. But they have actually stopped including their children in their videos since 2022, saying one of the reasons they wanted to stop was because that they didn't want their girls to remember their childhood as a camera shoved in their face. I'm sure Colleen's kids wish they could say the same about their childhoods. In fact, some people in the fandom are even calling out Colleen's sister Jessica and her family channel with her husband Chris, called the Ballinger family. Comment down below if you would like to see a deep dive into that. Now, speaking of children that the Ballinger family has exploited, Adam Mcintyre was actually in hot water this week with the H3 fandom after he canceled an offer to appear on the podcast with Ethan to discuss the Colleen situation farther. If you aren't familiar with any of these names, Ethan and Ela Klein are a married couple and parents of 2, and they co-company a company together called Teddy Fresh. Then they started a channel called H3 many years ago. It has since evolved to having a massive podcast that once hosted a show that we love called Frenemies with Trisha Paytas. Now, in general, Ethan talks about internet and pop culture gossip, sometimes sharing his political beliefs and challenging people's views on the podcast. He had taken a break for a few weeks due to what was later revealed to be him feeling unwell after a gas leak in their house that forced them all to move out temporarily. During that break, Colleen released her infamous ukulele song called Hi, and he wanted to bring on a couple of Colleen's victims to give them a platform. Now, Adam had already planned a trip to Disneyland in Florida, and keep in mind that Adam primarily lives in Ireland. He knew that it would be too much stress to try to use the Disney Wi-Fi to call in and decided to choose to go about his day. He posted to his YouTube community a message saying, "PSA, H3 reached out to me to be on their upcoming episode alongside the others who have spoken up against Colleen. It'll be happening while I'm at Disneyland with my mom and friends, and I have been looking forward to this day for so long, so I will not be joining the stream, but I'm so grateful that they reached out and cared to cover this. So shout out to the entire team, and sorry I can't make it." For context, H3 did not ask me to go to their studio or anything. They asked me to call in, which I won't be able to do with my international data/Disneyland Wi-Fi. Just bad timing, but I appreciate their dedication to the topic and I can't wait to hear the discussion. Now, not everyone in the H3 fandom was happy about that, and it brought up a lot of resentment that some fans had for Adam, as he has had a rocky history with the H3 subreddit, from becoming a fan favorite to being their #1 enemy. Now, it's important to note that H3 subreddit is one of the largest Reddit subreddits that a YouTuber has, with over 500,000 active members. Now, some of the H3 Redditors had this to say. "He literally made a video criticizing Dan and Ethan less than a month ago about rich looks. He's trying to paint Dan as a homophobe. He's tried to paint Ethan as a homophobe. He's constantly talked shit and kicked dirt on Ethan when he was at the lowest after frenemies. Yeah, what happened to him was wrong, but he's still not a very kind person to anyone at the pod, especially Dan. And you don't mess with Dan and expect us to fuck with you. Can we all just move on from this situation and start watching goofs again?" Again, if you want to deep dive into this, let your girl know. But that was pretty much how a majority of their fans felt, although this attitude was heavily met with criticism from within the fandom. One post with almost 1,000 upvotes reads, Leave Adam alone. There is absolutely no reason to be awful to Adam Mcintyre. He's not being a clout goblin with Colleen. He's literally doing his job, posting videos, and very validly voicing his trauma. Now he's taking a well-deserved break from what must have been an exhausting month of reliving everything Colleen did. Get off his back and listen to the other victims on the upcoming show. And how about we stop judging survivors for how they cope? Do better. Now, since we're on the topic of the H3 podcast, they were recently the first to receive a copyright claim for the ukulele song that Colleen had made. Yep, you heard me, she made it available on streaming services. Guys, you can go to Spotify or Apple Music to listen to the song titled The Toxic Gossip Train, and I'm just beyond words right now. The claim has since been dropped though, and there is speculation if this is actually Colleen. As Ethan tweeted, Colleen or whoever was impersonating her dropped the claim. Well guys, that is going to be it for today's video. What do you guys think about family channels and family vloggers? Do you think there will eventually be a whole generation of these kids, kind of like the Disney kids, who will come out about their experiences? What do you think about Colleen and her contradicting herself when it comes to the privacy of her children? As always, feel free to leave this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new tea spills from us. And for now, here is my bleach.